We have to nominate someone to be Ashi. So I'm asking that this is two Sachen. It's a gamble Chaim, it's a thinking.
It's the second trip.
Second trip, it's not a trip.
What are you missing though? Perfect. Perfect.
Chaim. So there's a Geras HaKodesh, I don't know. Alter Rebbe wrote a letter to the Vaditcher as Mechutman. That the Vaditcher had a son who passed away. And the Vaditcher's son was married to the Mikkel son's daughter.
That's where they found the
cave.
yeah.
Exactly. They found the cave of the daughter. His son is buried over there. His mom is with him. Is with all his three sons. So that writes the Vaditcher a letter. Yeah, this is a letter from the man of the Kapskis. The next letter is this is Chav Zayin. Writes that Zohar Kodesh says, "Tzaddik di spate ishtakach b'kul ami yakim b'chayai." That a tzaddik that's nifter is found in this world even more than during his life. Yakim b'chayai, more. It's all love. So Alter Rebbe says, "Tina b'olam is a yoynim ishtakach yakim b'chayai." So you say that in the spiritual realm that tzaddik passes on, it's present even more in some type of inner spiritual world. Yat Mechayim means that the tzaddik is nimshach and the oil is nimshach lamata even stronger. That after every stalkus, after every Yartzeit, the tzaddik becomes more revealed in this world. Asher kibalti yaman chazal v'shavah chaim l'chol k'noida shachai atzadik ein chai psar kim chaim ruchnim shem emuna v'yira v'ava. The chai atzadik is emuna yira v'ava. But yois atzadik chai apnei adamo so shoy midus elu b'seich chli v'levushalem b'seich mokim. Chai atzadik, which is chaim of emuna yira v'ava, is contained within the body. So it's therefore v'chol tabidam ein mekabel raka oris midas elu. The talmidim only mekabel the or because the ikar the chayes of the tzaddik when he has a goof, is contained within the tzaddik. Then, if you call the car of Elo, the Kabel, the Chelik, the Rucha, and I've named the whole Amos Kli, like his knocking. Since the tzaddik is no longer in a physical place, and is no longer confined by the physicality of things, therefore the Chayat tzaddik is even, you can connect with the life of the tzaddik even stronger. Yeah, this is the word. Now it's not much trouble. So first of all, Chayat tzaddik in a Chayat b'sorim. Chayat tzaddik in a Chayat b'sorim. The life of a tzaddik. It's in a Chayat b'sorim al Chayim al Munu Yir V'ava. Tzaddik l'masa yichya. Question is, what's left? What are we alive with? I think Tzaddik, one of his Talmidim asked Tzaddik, said, what's a Yid? So he said, okay, you want to know a Yid? Let's call him the wagon driver. Says Ivan. Says, what do you like doing in this world? So you like to eat. What else do you like to sleep? I like to do physical things. Why do you like to do that? Says, have strength. Strength to do what? To eat, sleep. What's the tachlis? What are you living for? So when a person loses the munah, of a year, be'emes, and really in essence, the munah of a year itself is not physical. A person lives in the hoyven of life. Someone lives a life that while being in the physical world, they're connected to something that's deeper, to some type of ruchnius that transcends space. When a person is in a goof, in a body, so this koyach, this oil that exists within the tzaddik, is contained within the body. But when the body is no longer, it's contained everywhere. And where is everywhere? Everywhere. So tonight is the Yartzeit of Alter Rebbe. So we have to try to understand a little bit. We don't have to. You could. If you want. I want to try to understand a little bit. It's us. What are we trying to connect to? Trying to connect to some type of oil, some type of light. That, when the Alter Rebbe was in prison, he wrote this. He said that if they asked him if he's connected to Baal Shem Tov. Because one of the reasons why the Alter Rebbe was in prison was because they mastered. There was a Yid, a Vigdor from Barditchev. Anyways, they mastered, one of the things that they got to the Alter Rebbe in prison was that they mastered that it was a kat. That Chassidus was a kat. Cool. A cult. And the Russians accepted organized religion. If you were part of an organized religion, they accepted, at least years ago. And if it was a cult, it was always the worry that the cult was dangerous and maybe they have aspirations to become, to take over the government, to fill out the government, anarchists. So they asked Alter Rebbe if he belongs to this group of Chassidim. He never said that. If he would have said no, they would have let him out. But he didn't want even for 1 second that he should rip himself away from the Baal Shem. Even just to say it. Say how much can and stuff. Say I don't have a connection with this person. He would have saved his life. He didn't want to do this. He would have saved his life. So what's worth fighting for? Why is it worth? He said it's worth fighting for life. What?
Would have killed him.
Get to what? What other thing?
What
does that mean? What does that mean, Taki? What does it mean? What does it mean that what is Chassidus? What are we fighting for? What are we trying to hold on to? That's actually the question we have to ask ourselves. What is it that what's the way Chassidus? What's the Torah of Hashem? Okay, so some people say it's another knetch. So there's let's say there was a time before the Ktsas, before the Shagasaya, and there's post Shagasaya. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. There's a time before the Shagasaya. There's a time before the Chaim. Some after a Chaim. Okay, if you're really dull in risk it or you understand that before there was one way and there's another way. Okay, what is it you didn't have that connection? If it wasn't that connection. Okay, so let's say we were learning like the Shach and Taz. You felt? We didn't have the brisk Mahalach. Also ganz fein jeden, no? Shach and Taz. There's a big people. What's so not like the Polish in the 1600s. They didn't have the brisk Mahalach. So you say, okay, there's a bigger Kiddush. Okay, fine, a nice connection. So some will say this is like it's another wrinkle, another knetch. Before we understood the Kabbalah, say something one way, this gave another knetch, another new definition. So it makes it nicer. Now you can learn. You can say, oh, the Chassidish pshat is, Now you can say the biscuit is. Yeah, you could maybe you can say that. But is this worth giving over your life for? I'm ready to, maybe it is, but I'm not asking. That's yeah. The truth is, that place of Chassidus is not another knetch. I'm giving him. There was a Torah that was revealed up until the Baal Shem, and Chassidus came along. He gave another kvetch. A new kvetch. You know, there's in the world of Galia, in the world of Halacha. So you have generally there's tkufas. So let's say there's tkufas atanoi. Let's say tkufas anavim, diva Kabbalah, and there's tkufas atanoi. So the Tanoim don't argue with Divrei Kabbalah. The Kabbalah, Divrei Nevi'im, you don't argue with Nevi'im, right? So the halachic basoi within the tkufa, within this period of time, you follow the later opinion. But in the tkufa itself, you always follow the opinion before. Let's say there's machlekes between the Rishonim and the Goyim. So you go according to the Goyim. Machlekes between the Achronim and the Rishonim. Not only is machlekes. There's no machlekes. The Amoraim don't argue with the Tanoim. Only Rav, Tana and Polik. But generally, a Moyer doesn't argue with the Tana. A Tana doesn't argue with a Navi. A Gon doesn't argue with an Amoyer. A Rishon doesn't argue with the Gon. You understand? This is the way it goes. And an Acher doesn't argue with the Rishon. This is the way the Shoshal Satayr is. But there's a Dava Nifla that inside the Satayr, in Pnimi Satayr, it's mamish the opposite. It's mamish the opposite. That something is called Kabbalah Sagoyim. You ever heard of Kabbalah Sagoyim? No, that's the one. You ever heard of it? There's Kabbalah Sagoyim, Aigon, Chamoigon, Otsfarm. Who heard of it? 10 people. Why? Because after Kabbalah Sagoyim came Kabbalah Sagoyim. Came the Ramban, and Talmidei Ramban, even before the Zohar. They had Sefer Aboyer, and they had Sefer Yitzir. All these Svarim became very popular. And then we followed those. We followed the Ramban, and then we didn't look at the Goyim. And then along came the Zohar. That was published much later. And when the Zohar came along, we said, okay, well, it doesn't matter what the Rishonim said before the Zohar, we don't have. Whatever said the Zohar is taken to Sinai, that's the Eshlik Sa'ah. And a few hundred years later came the Arizal. And Ari revealed a new Gilui. There's a Tzimtzum, Hartzufim, a new whole Mahalach. And I was like, okay, it doesn't really matter what it says in the Rishonim. It doesn't matter what it says in the Rishonim. It doesn't matter what it says in the Kadmonim. We follow Ari. Even we don't follow what the Ramak says. It's a Machalik for the Ramak and Ari. We follow Ari. And then came the Baal Shem, and there's a new Gilui. which means that in Teres Asoid, it's the opposite of Teres Anigla. In Teres Anigla, the further we get, the less we say it's connected to the truth. In Teres Asoid, it's the opposite. The closer we get, the further we get from Matan Torah, the closer we get to Mashiach. Because Yishmikei Mashikas Piyu, that Torah Shal is heavily on the Torah Shal Mashiach. There's a Torah that's Torah that is a higher level of Torah, that's a Megillah with this Galah Torah Mashiach. Torah lost a lot. And Dr. Mitzvah's in the day is lost a lot, I'm not saying that. But there's in the Gilul Shabbat Torah and Torah that was revealed in Matan Torah, as the generation gets further and further from Matan Torah, Kol Gadol Yosef. Kol Gadol Yosef means a great sound that's reverberating. Lo Yosef, it didn't stop. Lo Yosef. So the generation that were closer to Matan Torah heard Matan Torah stronger. So you want to know what's that? What's the halacha? How do you put it to them? You have to ask them. And as we get further and further away from Matan Torah, the voice becomes quieter and quieter. But there's a voice that becomes louder and louder. That's the voice of the future. There's a voice of the past, there's a voice of the future. In Zman, time moves away from the past into the present, but it's also being pulled from the future. The present is being pulled from the future. It's being imprinted from the past and being pulled from the future. Can I finish? Understand? Zman ban. Zman is man ban. Ma is the past. Sorry, ma is the future. Ma, what? Being pulled from the future. And ban is Malchus, which already is Boma. The name is Boma. The ma is already swallowed. It's already a past. This is what ban is. The time has these two elements of time. So some people are very nostalgic. They live with the past. Nostalgic. Nostalgic people live with the past. They talk about stories of the past. They get together and they tell them some nices. You think the Bubba, the Zay, the Alter Rebbe. You know such people? This is one type of person. This is a person that the past is imprinting their present. Then there's another type of person where the future is pulling them from the present. They're being pulled by the future. This is a person that has a vision. Doesn't like talking about the past. The past was on. We're talking about a future. We're talking about something completely different. And people that were connected to our future, and it's interesting if you look, Taka, that all the Giluyim, all the revealings, all the big Isgalos, the Torah Sanister, always happened after tremendous churban in Klal Yisrael. After the expulsion of Spain happened, if you're following the whole history, every time there's a great tragedy in Klal Yisrael, the next thing that happened was a great revelation. And the great revelation was from people that were not being pulled by the past, or being imprinted by the past. They were by people that were Bali Ruch HaKodesh, Bali Chizyonis. There's a sefer by the Chaim Vital called Sefer Chizyonis. It's Chizyonis. Chizyonis, I'm seeing something that's going to articulate, and I'm pushing myself to get to that place. It's a vision. The vision is out of the past. The past, you don't have to need a vision. You can take a picture. Picture of the past. The vision you have to create. You have to see it. You have to see it with your inner eye. And the tzaddikim, the tzaddikim that came out of this world, and there were always, in Klal Yisrael, there were always two types of tzaddikim. There's always two types of tzaddikim. There's tzaddikim of the past and tzaddikim of the future. There's always, from the beginning of time, there was we'll call the tzaddik of maintenance and the tzaddik of vision. Tzaddik of maintenance was the Kohen Gadol. Any day you walk into the base of Mikdash, you knew exactly what's going to happen. You can't deviate one iota. And the Kohen, the biggest issue that a Kohen can do The biggest sister a Kohen can do is what? It's Pigel. Pigel is Chutz Zmanei. In Chav and Kavanah of Chutz Zmanei, it's Pigel. You're not allowed to think Chutz Zmanei. You have to think in time. The Kohen you're bringing today is for today. Stop thinking about a week from now. You think a week from now, you're not a Kohen Gadol. You're not a Kohen. Chutz Kohen is only car is not cars. It's only a law. Pigel is cars. It's only the Chutz Zmanei. Because you can't think Chutz Zmanei. That's the gather of a Kohen Gadol. The quality of the Kohen Gadol is to think. As I can as Chatas Avoiker, as I can as Chatas Avoiker. The person that's holding up the, making sure the past is being imprinted in the present and holding up the structure. There's one type of person. There's the Kohen Gadol. And then there was the Navi. The Navi was a whole different person. The Navi was always the person that saw the future. He saw a beautiful vision. And Klal Yisrael don't know what to do with Nevi'im. They know what to do with the Kohen Gadol. He dresses very nicely. He wears his big huna. You know exactly how he's going to look tomorrow and yesterday. His hair is always shaved. He wears his hair is always clean, cut. He has to cut his hair once a week. He's always bathed and clean. You know what to expect. You come to the Kohen Gadol, you know exactly what to expect. You come to the Navi, he's disheveled. He has long hair. He's walking around in rags. There's always something going on with the Kohen. Why? with the Navi. Why? Because the Navi says, this is not it.
It's not revealed.
Not it. This is not it. You're goalless. You don't have. This is the story. Okay, fine.
Kohen.
Kohen.
Navi.
Well, very good. This is mamish. So how could you be a Kohen? The Chambam side. Okay. There's the Navi, the person that's the visionary. The person that has a vision. The person that has a vision. It's not necessarily the person that you think is going to be the maintenance guy. You look back in the history of Klal Yisrael, this goes on since all the beginning. There's a Kohen, there's a Navi, there's the Poisek, and there's always two types of characters. Always, there's one person that's very good at maintaining. The person that does maintenance is always down in their Chagav. Is always very well respected. He's the person respected. He's a good love because everyone knows. You know exactly what to predict. He knows he's going to tell you exactly what to do. The Navi and Mekadosh and tomorrow's going to wake up with a new vision. Tomorrow's going to tell you, we have to do this. There's new things. Fight the Nayazachin. It sounds like a cult. This is where we're holding at. So celebrating. Remember, we're Alter Rebbe's. Alter Rebbe was some type of shilluv on these two things. Alter Rebbe was Shnei Yored. And there was the Oyer of Halacha. Alter Rebbe wrote a Shulchan Aruch. Very bombish Shulchan Aruch. And there's all different types of brisket toys in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. You light the candles on Shabbos is the light. It should be lit. This is Alter Rebbe. All these Kedushim. Tons of Kedushim you find the Ksach in Alter Rebbe. And also the Alter Rebbe was a person that when he died, he fell on the floor. He rolled. And they had to tap his walls with carpets. Because sometimes he got in such dvekas that he would bleed. If you go into a straight out of trance. Alter Rebbe writes in Against HaKodesh, writes once that what he wants to do, his dream, is to Mashal the Torah Arizal and Torah Hashem. Take the Torah Hashem and show how the Torah Arizal, the intricate, complicated structures that Ari talks about, is a Torah Hashem. That's one thing. It's like a chibur of a Rafachem. But Torah Chassidus is the Torah of the Torah that looks to the future. When it looks to the future, Torah Chassidus, that's why it's Oishivas Yom, Torah Hashem, connected to the Mashiach. it's not only Mashiach in the distance that will come. It's the oil of the future that's being pulled by it's the oil of the present that's being pulled by the future. So therefore it's the Mashiach that's not Kova Nafshi Gola, the Teves Hashem is Kova Nafshi Gola. The Nafshi Gola means the Mashiach should be Kibbutz. There's a Nafshi Gola. You can have a shtickle redemption. You can have a shtickle Gula in Golas. In Golas you can have a shtickle Mashiach.
What is the code?
Huh?
What is the code?
What's the code? Yeah. Okay. First you have to say a lot of But I'm saying we have to understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to connect to something to oil. It doesn't have a gedoras because it's oil. It's not. It's something that will become. Something that's becoming. Something that's becoming. Something we connect to, and not to get stuck. That's the ikar. Is a coin. Lasas achin. Mishal lekecha. The term of the Meshaloich is that Lasas achin Mishal lekecha machnish azoy. Don't make it azoy. Azoy is like, why did you do this today? Because I did it yesterday. That's already how it is. Lasas achin Mishal lekecha. So you once in the Sefer of the Chayzer, Zois Karnin writes there's different writes that there's that he writes about different manhogas he used to have. And he says upam laipach. This like I did this. Sometimes the whole thing is different. What's that? Upam laipach. You can get stuck. Why am I doing this today? Because I did this yesterday. Okay, so you're not alive. Alive. Why you do this today? Because today you woke up and said my down. And you became a Yid. But we like to be, it's more comfortable in life when we know a certain expectation of what's going to be. Why am I getting up today this way? Because I did it yesterday. Right? Why am I doing this now? Because this is what I've done for 30 years. That's why I can do it. How do you know? You have to do it today because it's today. You have to make this radical choice. Yeah. And that's on l'chaim. Maybe she should help. And we should be connected to Amunah out of the year of Chayat Tzaddik. So it's larger, bigger, greater.
Monkey shoulder.
She grows for all the arranging and Ari for everything. They put it all together in 3 hours. They put together the whole thing. L'chaim.
For the Gerbers.
And the Gerbers, l'chaim to the Gerbers for hosting. L'chaim for Lipa for taking care of the hosting of the hosting.
Everyone that needs a shikayach, shani a shikayach. Helemaal Silchaim and the Saramash is
It's a big job being a Saramash.
The collar on the top.
No, the Helm should say also, was also L'chaim. The Lippe, and the Yamaladis.
Amen.
Mice is, what's the oil? So everyone knows we were in Hades, you know. Alter Rebbe Yartzeit, Liadi, but he's a week in Hades. Where's Hades? Meise is a ganze Meise of Napoleon. There's a big machlokes at Tzadikim. Napoleon should win, Napoleon should lose. I'm not for the ganze Meise. There was a Kodesh Magid, and there was the Alter Rebbe. Some felt it was better for him to win, better for him to lose. And decided I was going to blow Shofar and Rosh on the first. And the Kodesh Magid down very quickly. So he took Sharang gehabt. He blew Shofar for davening. I don't want to get the whole nice. It's a whole long story. It's a whole Parshish night. Alter Rebbe, the Tzadikim believe that Napoleon was not Stam. And Napoleon represented a big clip. It was like the revolution of modernity, fraternity, equality. But it was also a revolution against, if you know about the French Revolution. So yeah, the French Revolution was an atheistic revolution. It was against God. Unlike the American Revolution, which was theistic, it was done by people that believe in Hashem. That's why it has a key. That's why Trump. Yeah, that's why America has a key. America is the longest constitution, the oldest constitution in the world. But Alter Rebbe ended up in Farbrengen. He was running it for Napoleon. Not only was he running it for Napoleon, he went back. It was Erev Shabbos. He went back to his house in Riyadh to collect his chaytzim and get slippers, and he said that he doesn't want anything to do. Napoleon shouldn't have any chaytzim with this, and he burned his house. Before Napoleon came to the town, he said, I don't want this person. If you know a little bit, Napoleon was also married to the cult. I don't know if you know, he went to excursions in Egypt. So I got something. And he didn't want to have anything to do with this man. Nothing. Not even his chaytzim should have anything to do. And Alter Rebbe was nifty, ganz young. He was only 67. But because of the tulum and the running and very fun. Alter Rebbe said wrote two Torahs before he passed away. I'm not sure exactly. The day, a week, that's mom, 2 Torahs. Huh?
It's a Shabbos, you wrote.
Yeah, Nefesh HaShvel. He wrote a short Torah, Nefesh HaShvel. And he also wrote Tani Yigeres HaKodesh. So he became Tani Yigeres HaKodesh Chelik Yigeres Chof. What to talk about? We should talk about. What to talk about? What's it? No. But before he passed away, before the Alter was nifter, he was lying in the bed, and he looked up, and he said, the person who was in the room was Esther. He said, what are you seeing? So he said, I see beams. It's like probably a room something like this. Yeah, like a catchment in one of these rooms. Well, beams, exposed beams. Today it's already modern to have exposed beams. It's against this whole, in Brooklyn we have very big exposed beams. And some of the Chassidish guys come, every time they come to the place, a big place, they come and say, if you want, I can sponsor you, I can give you a sheetrock, we can put sheetrock all over the beams. No, this is this is people like this. People like unfinished things. I guess he says, well, I see a beam. Close. Whatever, he passed away. I don't know. A few minutes later, an hour, 2 hours later, he passed away. So there's a famous letter. Everyone knows the letter. Famous letter that the Baal Shem writes to the Yeshe Kitva that he Aliyas on the Shabbat, and he met Mashiach, and he asked him, "What's it called?" That's the first part of it. And the second part is V'yasim Yichudim K'maischa. And people are able to do Yichudim like you. What the Yichudim more, it's not clear. It's Olam Shabbos and Lakuz, so it's the three Yechudim of Zeri calls Yichud HaShalom, Shem Hashem HaEker, Shem HaRadne, Shem HaLakim. It's not a game. But in the letter itself, it doesn't say what the Yechudim are. The idea is that Hashem says, that Mashiach will come, Amos HaKasim Mar, Kishifutz Manasechot. I think this will be a sparrow on the wall. Yasmi Yechudim K'moisach. We're going to make you Yechudim. You ever do Yechudim? Maybe some people around there talking, did Yechudim? Okay, that's a very unusual group of people. But most people, Yechudim, they don't know what's Yechudim. Let's try the Yechudim. Yasmi Yechudim K'moisach. So there's a big Torah Sari. There's a huge Sharuch HaKodesh and Shar Kedusha, and there's a big arichas of what Yechudim is. Yechudim is that's it's like we'll say it's like spiritual combinations to unlock certain things. You do a shila between the shemas, you do a yichud between the shemas, whatever the shemas are. The shemas represent something, and they unlock different levels of consciousness, different levels of understanding, and you can have experience something deeper. There was a big machlokes between the Kabbalah and the Sardish Mukabbalah, and the Ashkenazic Mukabbalah, is if you have to actually understand the yichud, or is it tfuna or tuna? You actually just have to see it. It's like, you do a combination of the block. You have to understand how the block works. You don't have to understand. You just press the button, it opens up. So at least you know the buttons. Or that's just tmuna. You're taking a picture. You take a mental picture of this vision. Or you have to understand what this name represents, what this shame represents. You have to mechaber into shemas. What's Yasi Yechudim K'moisach? Every Yidin and Yechudim. What does it mean? What does it actually mean? Every person's going to learn Yechudim. Every person's going to learn Sharuch HaKodesh. What does it actually mean? If that's the case, then we're not such a good shape. It's not. Nosik HaSegmar, Yasi Yechudim K'moisach is going to be a long project. I gather the letter says that he had the Filas Aruach when he was told. So there's something that's called Bir Hanitzaitzes, Birurim, and Yechudim. It's two sugyas. Something that's called Bir and Yechudim. Bir, this is why you ever heard that on Shabbos. Shabbos is this Isra Boyer. So on Shabbos, the Arizal writes that there's no waste. That if everything, it's like mom. If you eat it, there's no birurim. Therefore, you don't gain weight. You ever heard this? You understand? Eat food on Shabbos, you don't gain weight. God, the Shem Shmuel says it only works if you can believe in it.
Also
believe in it. Huh?
Also the Yutzah.
Yeah.
Shem
Shem Shmuel, yeah.
Also. No.
He says, God, only if you have a woman, then it's going to work. So it's like a catch-22. Because the only thing you might have a woman. Okay, but there's something about birurim, boyer, the concept of birur, and there's yichud. What's the chiluk between birur and yichud? So birurim means like there's oichel and psoil. That's a birur. Birur means that there's food, sifting, and you're sifting one thing from the next, leaving go of something. So let's say I'm taking the meichel out of the psoilos, and the psoilos of the meichel, whatever it is. I'm sifting the good from the bad. Dropping the bad or only taking the bad and leaving good. That's the idea of a beer. Which means the idea of a beer means the emes, that there's a recognition that there's certain things that can't be elevated. I'm a vard and it suits the sparks in this situation, or this let's say I'm eating something. And I'm a vard and it suits. Vard and it means I'm taking the sparks that exist from this food. And I'm saying, Lo Yallechem Levad Yechi Adam Ki Aloitzi Pi Hashem. That really I recognize that it's Aloitzi Pi Hashem, the Chayas, that gives me Chayas. And I'm connecting it to the Chayas. And that's why I get my notion of it. Right? What happens to the actual psoilus of the actual the shell, the clip of the food? It goes to waste. It's rejected. That's why, for example, there's no kavanas on the bathroom, according to the Arizal. You should say it's a dollar. Yeah, every person does it. Every person has to do it. It's no kavanas. Why is it no kavanas? Because The whole idea is there's no kalam. That's the whole thing. It's you just taking it out. The oimik of that. But in Baal Shem there is. Baal Shem has kalams. Why? Because the derech of Baal Shem, the oil that Baal Shem was revealing to the world. And not that the Baal Shem, we have to understand, is very goynik. And not the Baal Shem was machadish. In other words, they thought one way. They thought the Baal Shem was machadish a new way. So what it means, it's just saying that the Baal Shem was a little smarter than the Arizal. Smarter than the person that came before him. Right? There's a bigger, it's like, okay, Miyusid on this thing came along, Reb Chaim, you'll say, and it was mechanish this knetch. No. What it is, and until the Baal Shem came, this was not available in the world. When the Baal Shem came and revealed this in the world, he wasn't revealing something that was able to be revealed a year ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago. It was only able to be revealed now. And ba'oimik yoiser, it only became now. Metzias became now. The Gilul Kusa became this. You know? This is when the Arizal was Megalit Tzimtzum, he wasn't saying that up until now they didn't understand the world, and he's going to reveal how the world works. It's really through Tzimtzum. But up until the Arizal, there's no Tzimtzum conception. You have to, it's the same of L'chaim, you hold call.
What do they call that?
Yeah, it's micro something. This is the way it works. In other words, Baal Shem, the tzaddik is the gila lakus in this world. The tzaddik is the gila lakus in this world.
Yeah, but how is it that it was never
It's a new gila.
If the Torah was given in Sinai,
So it's the klolus. It's the klolus.
so it's just being revealed. Right?
Yeah, okay. Of course, everything there.
But you're saying Tzimtzum didn't happen at the time of the Rizal. Even the Rizal didn't say it happened at this time.
Let's hold this for a second.
Symptoms are?
No.
Simpsons is no, it's hell of a
The 8 symptoms are.
No, it's
Etzem, there's only or. There's no Simpson.
Same thing to
Simpson Matzma Yoyer.
like it says Darshan on Zion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it happened.
Happened. It happened now.
Exactly.
Okay, this is
No, then I understood.
okay. In other words, there's the Eibusher is Machadish do the Chodom Aspirations. The Schachas Abriya is a Tmidius. And in the Schachas Abriya, in the Schachas Abriya, there's a new revelation of this Schachas every single moment. And before it was revealed this way, now it's revealed this way.
Yeah. But Tzimtzum happened way back.
There's no way back.
No, there's no time. You're talking about
There's no way back.
Someone created it. Electric always existed.
Okay.
Meaning accessibility comes with the Chiddush.
Correct. Correct.
Chiddush creates
Correct.
the accessibility.
No. It's
The key and it's the door.
It's a key in the door.
As your mind get
It becomes. Exactly.
Is there an analogy? Electricity wasn't invented by Edison or whoever did.
No, it wasn't
Nikola.
Whoever. It was revealed.
Yeah, it's revealed.
it was revealed, but it wasn't available. It wasn't here.
Yeah, no, it
It
wasn't.
was here.
No, it's just it's
It was
a
a kite. It was here.
Yeah, it was there. Electricity exists in the world. They didn't understand electricity, and it's possible 1,000 years ago they did.
Zabazach.
No, not the Zombies.
Why?
The direct currency
Oh, boy.
Huh?
existed.
Huh?
DC now.
But AC did not exist. They actually created the
Code.
ACs.
That's already a nigga. Huh?
Okay, that's it. Okay.
AC, the alternating.
Right. Tesla invented one form, and then Edison was the other one.
So Yichud versus Bitter.
Let's go back to Yichud. Let's talk about what. The beer shot is that there's toiv and there's ra. And what I have to do is I have to sift, take out the toiv and the ra. That's my avoidance. And I have to discard the ra. I have to discard the waste. And there's no avoid in the waste. The avoid in the waste is nothing. There's no avoid in the waste. The waste is waste. Comes along with that. Comes along with Moshe. And reveals the Yasi Chudin Kamoisa means that Alter Rebbe said that he saw the kus, the beam. The shot is not that he saw the nitzutz of the beam at a lakus, not the spark. The whole beam was a lakus. How could you reveal a lakus? That is only through a yichud. What's a yichud? Yichud means I'm taking this thing and showing. Yichud is a process, is a revealing. Beer is a process of sifting out, separation. Yichud means fakert. I'm revealing what's intrinsically here already.
So there's no bath. That is what else?
It's a moment.
Correct. Okay, you're already talking about like already reducing in Indian. Yeah, in Indian. That's the Gilur Rosh. The Gilur, the oil. That's why it's made in Lamhala. You understand? That's why it's made in Lamhala. Because that's why it's Oil Shel Mashiach. Because the oil that exists now, you know the difference between in Gemara, the language is Toshma. In the Zohar, also in Yerushalmi, the Lashon is Tochazi. What's the chiluk? Toshma means when you listen. How does listening happen? Listening means like this: you hear one sound, then you hear another sound, then you hear a third sound, and a fourth sound, and you take all of these sounds, you combine them together, you go from pratin to a klal. That's what Toshma means. Which means, in the world of Gemara, in the world of Birurim, there's this problem, and then I have to have some type of coherency of what this thing represents. The Tochazi, Tochazi means I'm seeing first the cloud. I see the thing. Azay is this. Now that I start looking a little deeper, I see it has this problem, that problem. So what's the Torah Chassidus? Torah Chassidus is Tochazi. It's a Torah of vision. It's a Torah. It's a Torah of we'll say it's not the Torah of the left brain. It's the Torah of the right brain. So then you have a shaila. So what's Chassidus Chabad? So what's the Alter Rebbe? Alter Rebbe is the Litva. Alter Rebbe writes a Shulchan Aruch, writes a Likutei Torah. Likutei Torah is a shaila, and Torah is a shaila. If you're learning Likutei Torah and you're learning Alter Rebbe's Torah that way, you miss the point. Because the whole kavanah of all the pratim is to get to the place of dveikus. But the Alter Rebbe said like this: people are intelligent people. Let's say some people are intelligent people. Some people are pashtiyin. I don't mean pashtiyin in a bad way. Pashtiyin in a very good way, in a healthy way. The munalaych, selichtik. Don't confuse them with the details. Some people are seichel people. They try to figure out, okay, tell me a dvar sichli. Tell me something intelligent, so I can use my head and I can participate. Alter Rebbe says, I'm going to take your head. I'm going to take your seichel. I'm going to take it and chew it and chew it and chew it and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it until it snaps. And when it snaps, you're going to have back the eye, the same way what the Maggid wants to reveal. The Torah of Maggid wants to reveal the oil. If you open up a sefer like the Noam Elimelech, if you can read it, it's a very hard sefer. But let's say you open up some of this form, let's say that way this is so. Some of this form from the Talmid HaMaggid, the Baditcher for sure. You open it up, it's lichtik. It's not lichtik. You can read it a piece of light. It's a light. You can you margish the dveikus immediately. But the tachlis of Likutei Torah, of Alter Rebbe's Torah, is the same point. Forget, Alter Rebbe will say, I'm really doing the job, because what's going to happen is that the intelligent people, or the people that are the Bali Seichel, are not going to be able to understand, they're going to say, okay, it's a vort, it's a geschmack of vort, it's not talking to me. Give me something to our Seichel. Let's sit for 2 hours and discuss something. You sit for 2 hours and discuss something, the point to get it is to get to a point that's beyond discussion. So the ultimate point is to get to a point of dveikus. You know, there's this chachma bin and das. Chachma is like the idea, bin is already understanding it, das is to bring it internally. This is called Oyosha, Chacham bin Das. And then there's Oychoize. So Chacham bin Das, Das Bina Chachma Ayin. That's the Kabbalah. You go take a Chacham bin Das, try to understand it. And when you try to finally understand it and listen to them, and your mind is connected to this, and you're misbinding it, at some point you're going to slip to a point where all of a sudden your mind just expands into something else. And this is the famous story I told you, I think, before. The Maisa with the Shlobin Chasana. With the Maisa with Alter Rebbe and the Baditcher. We're going to the Chuppah, this Chuppah that we talked about, yeah? They're going to the Chuppah, and they came to a small little path, and they both weren't able to get to the Chuppah together. So today, in this world, they argue who goes first. In that world, they argue who goes second. So the Alter Rebbe told the Baditcher that you should go first because you're older. He was much older. Baditcher was a lot older, and you're one of the big Talmidei Hamagid. You're from the Rebbe's big Talmidim. You should go first. And the Baditcher told the Alter Rebbe that you should go first because you were a Chavim by the Magid. The Magid had big chivus for you. He was young and he had big shashuyim from the and they were arguing. So Baditcher went into a state of Dvekis and said, okay, Bazoi, let's go through the wall. If you can't get through this narrow door, let's go through the wall. Alter Rebbe said, listen to it. And he also went into Dvekis, and then he said, when he came out, he said that by Rebbe, we learned, by our Rebbe, we learned that we don't go through walls. We just have to widen the doors. You can go through the wall. You go. It's also malach. You get to the wall and you have eyes. There's no walls. Alter Rebbe understood what the Maggid wanted to know. Take the door. Take your seichel. Take the surah that you are. Expand it. To the point that it snaps, and then you have something that's agosh and something that's higher. This is the oil that's being revealed.
It just snapped.
Oh. This is the oil that's being revealed and constantly being revealed. The oil that was zoiche to be connected to. The cloud is all zoiche to be connected to. And we should remember who we are, what we're doing in this world. We're not doing Berurim, we're doing Yechudim. We should be making this every single moment of our lives.
Simba,
There's your set.
So what does it translate in avoida? What does it mean? What does it mean in our lives? What does it mean? Avoida say yichudim. So Alter Rebbe wrote a sefer called Tanya. And Tanya b'seif peir gimel denida. Mashbi moise titzavi. It's got not a Bryson, and yet Alter Rebbe calls it Tanya. It's a minor of Simoy. They say once that Achshamayati, Moshe Shapiro, said that when the Alter Rebbe, when the girl saw the Alter Rebbe Tanya, he said the man is the first os is already at os. It's just the Bryson. But there's Mechum, the Alter Rebbe Daf Ketanya. There's a Gesois, there's a Gis that says Tanya also. But Tanya is a clipper. And there's a word, I also heard some, that when Alter Rebbe went to Vilna, Alter Rebbe wanted to speak to the girl. And the medal of the Vitebsker came, had to figure out to make shalom. This is what they're fighting. And the girl heard that Alter Rebbe was coming, and he ran into his mother's attic. So I heard from the B'nai from Chaim Galozna, 8 o'clock. So they hid in the attic. They asked him why you're hiding in the attic. He said, "Go speak to him. Let's talk to you." He says that he heard Alter Rebbe's face was very lichtig. That it has such an oil, his face has such an oil, that if he's going to see the Alter Rebbe, even though he has a lot of questions, he's going to be so stopped from the oil of his face that he's going to follow Alter Rebbe anyway. So whatever the Alter Rebbe says, he's going to agree. And it's not going to be a real conversation, so he doesn't want it. And he was hiding in the attic, and he heard Alter Rebbe came to his mother's house. And Alter Rebbe started walking up the stairs of the attic, like steps to a ladder, and the girl, this is the Messiah, the girl opened the door a little bit and saw Alter Rebbe's face coming up, because you're coming up the ladder, your face is up, and he was so lived off in the face of the tzur of Alter Rebbe that he jumped out the window, to run away, and he never met Alter Rebbe.
He was in the attic.
No, he jumped out the attic.
I mean, that's my point.
What do you mean?
It's high up.
First, no. But you think you're in the attic? You think you're in a Machiavello attic? It was a attic. Was a maybe a floor and a half. Yeah, it was
The
maybe.
second shot to the story.
Yeah, it was 8 feet higher.
2 stories back then was like 1 story.
Yeah,
The
it was
courage of
maybe-
the Alter
Das ist
Rebbe.
eine ganze Kasche.
Das ist eine ganze
We were just in a ditch 2 weeks ago.
Huh?
We were just in a ditch.
Yeah, it was a attic.
Right in the room.
The attic.
The kids said the side. Tanya b'soy pei gimel denida. Shot is like this. Mashbi moiset tzadik. There's a word from Blevik, who's the Rebbe's father, Malshav's father. Tanya b'soy pei gimel denida. Mashbi moiset means that b'soy pei gimel denida means in a place where you're from none, someone that's separated, someone that's alone. So you pay like you're in the last space that you could be, in the darkest place. But so you pay is the end of the 3rd chapter. Okay, at the end of the 3rd chapter, Alter Rebbe says you should know Mashbi Moshe Tzadik. You know, you want to know who you really are? Before you come down to this world, Mashbi means both. Mashbi is an oath. It's a shua. Mashbi also comes from Soideya. Mashbi Moshe Tzadik means the Eibusha gives a person the neshama It's a satisfaction to become a tzaddik. Mashbi moisati tzaddik. Everyone says you're nothing. You should look outside. This is who you are, and where you come from. You come from a place of tzaddik. What's together of tzaddik? Alter Rebbe writes in time. There's a long arichas of it. What together of a tzaddik is that a tzaddik gomor is not only a person that overcomes his struggles, but is a person that's beyond struggle. A person that's beyond struggle. So normally you're fighting with yourself, and then the better side of you gets you. And the tzaddik is not even fighting with yourself. You stop fighting. The fight is over. How can the person get on this? Maybe a person reaches this madrega. Ulai haiva ulai. This madrega tzaddik. Alter Rebbe writes that sometimes even a person who he calls a beinoni, which is a person that's struggling, has b'shas hatfila. There's a time that's a moichin degalos and the person's davening. And there's a certain moichin degalos. Moichin degalos means moichin degalos in Yiddish is klarkeit. That's the word. Klarkeit. Klarkeit means clarity, real clarity. You know, sometimes you're clear, let's say you have to do something in business and then you're clear this is the right thing to do. Sometimes you have an issue with your child, you're clear this has to be done. Klarkeit means you're clear on everything. Everything seems clear. You know exactly what you have to do in this world and why you have to do it, the way you have to do it. It's a ruach l'morim. This is like a something that's it washes over you. This is called God l'sheni, God l'shishim. This is like a type of clarity. Everything makes sense, but not sense in a rational way. You know what I'm talking about? Not sense in a rational. Let's say a person tries to figure out their life. He says, okay, I understand now. Oh, this is why the reason why I'm married to this person. These are my children. This is the job, and I live here. Okay, yeah, it's a collect. It's all everything. Your body, how you look, your age, everything. That's the whole thing is like aha. Okay. That aha moment, that one moment that you have utter clarity of your life, that's Moichin Degalos. That's the tzaddik. That's the perfection that it speaks. Now it doesn't last. Some people last. Most people it doesn't last. It's a momentary epiphany, whatever you want to call it. This happens. It can happen by davening. It can happen when you're walking the street. It doesn't matter. It's something that's yalla ruach l'morim. It's like an awakening that comes from above. The Arizal says something that comes bechinas ibur. You can have an ibur of a neshama. Something all of a sudden it's like you're trying to figure out your life. You're trying to understand what's going on. Nothing's making any sense. And just one day for 5 seconds, everything makes sense. And then 5 seconds later, nothing makes sense. But those 5 seconds that made sense, that means that you have the capacity to be creative.
The what?
The capacity, you have the koyach to recreate. There's a lashon in Tanya. Alter Rebbe talks about this beinoni character that has this one moment of vayshi spalam kolim kula, because the person when the davening has this madrega. And then he writes like this, a very interesting lashon in Tanya. Yeah. If I can read this, we'll get a signal. Okay, that's what I'm slowly trying to. Yeah. So this is what he writes. Even though this is the lashon of Alter Rebbe. Person, even though it says Sasem es Tikkun La'ad, Valagir Rosh Sheker, even though it doesn't last, Shechet Lefes Veiveres, this higher attention disappears. Nikras avodatama be'emes lamitosei shelahem. In the truth that they are at, that's considered true. Ish kefi madagosei medegas habenim. I got it now. I'm totally fine. Oh, Then the Alter Rebbe says, "V'hareini koira ba'avosam shefilosam gamkim sasem estikim la'ad." I'm calling these people. This is the only time in the whole Tanya that the Alter Rebbe talks about himself. Hareini koira yisam. If you read the Tanya is it's a detached book. It's a scholarship book. He's talking about the idea. He's talking about an idea. He's not talking about Ani Omer. He never says this language. This is the only time in the entire Tanya, period Gimel, that he says V'areini koira aleim. I call upon them. I call these people. I say Sfas Emes. Hareini koira ba'avosam shebetfilosam gamkein Sfas Emes tikkun la'ad. Hoyel u'b'koich nafshem elikis lachser l'oyer v'chin ravzul leilo. Because they can recreate it. Because they can always recreate it. I'm calling. The Alter Rebbe says I'm calling. What shot he's calling? This is God. This is the. You know, there's a minute to say your pasuk in Shmulesra. This is the Alter Rebbe's pasuk. It's Shneir. Harini koira leisam. I call them every single day. I say every day I think about this pasuk, and every day I see these guys that are struggling, and avosam it comes and it goes, but I know that they have it in them. Because if they can recreate it, if you had the experience once in your lifetime, once maybe a Pesach Seder, you were sitting after Daled Koises, after Mor and Matzah, you were only stopped, only against, and you couldn't breathe, and you're half asleep, and you're in another state of consciousness. You're following, what happens after the end of the Seder, you look like a Zoe, and all of a sudden this is the night of Gadlus Rishon, Gadlus Shein, it's the night of Gadlus, and all of a sudden you're sitting there like, it's perfect. It's Nirtzah. And then the next morning comes and says, you're with a hangover. And you feel that, but you remember last night? Remember that 5 minutes I had that experience? If I had it, I know that it happened within me. And that's the midas kolam, the tzaddik apim, mashvim b'yisati tzaddik. We can live. We can sit, we can play in the sandbox. You could. You know, when you were a child, no, not you, some people, not from the Chassidish guys there. And the other guys played in sandboxes. They let them in the Chassidish guys also. Oh, the only game they let them play. Okay.
Sandbox.
I'm sorry, play, whatever you did in the sandbox. And you sit and play in the sandbox, and then one day you outgrow the sandbox, and your mother tells you, Yankala, you're 10 years old, you can't go to the sandbox any longer. You can't go to the sandbox anymore. But I want to go to the sandbox. You understand? And you outgrew the sandbox. You want to play in the sandbox your whole life? You want to play in Katniss? It's your choice. You get dirty, you get muddy, you throw it off, you get a little better. Every day is another struggle. This is Amos. The Chassadim is that we're living this generation. It's not we could have been born 300 years ago, and I'll be born. We were to be born after the whole Earth was revealed. Where are we? Enough wallowing in the sandbox. You can grow up, become a mensch. You can have godless amoichem. This is what the revelation of the oil, the Teves of Hashem, is that there's an idea in the future. Chassidus says, yeah, there is a future, but you can tap into the future right now. If you go very deep enough, you can find the Nitzis Mashiach, the Kir Buchai, you can find the Yichid Nefesh, you can find Gilul, you can find everything. Everything you're looking for, you can find right within you, right now. You just have to stop for a second. I don't want to live anymore in the sandbox. I don't want to deal with my Yitzhahara and my struggles And this, there's a mice that's brought down in the Toldus. Toldus brings down a mice that there were three types. That there was once a king that decided to test the loyalty of the subjects. So he took one of his trusted servants. And he said, go around from town to town try to start a rebellion, and see if you can start a rebellion. If you go rebellion, then I know that I don't have they're not royal. So the sire of the king goes, the minister of the king, who's really a trusted minister, he's doing the king's work, comes to the first city, says, by the way, the king is a terrible king, and he does all this bad things to us, and he gives us taxes, etc., etc. And the Chaga say, it's not such a good king. Let's do a rebellion. Okay, says, wait a second, I'm just going to another town to check out the other town, I'm going to build up a rebellion. Comes to the next city, they hear him out, and they say, it's not such a terrible king. There's law and order because of him, and the taxes are not so bad as his father. It's okay. We're not going to start a rebellion. Okay, whatever. We're fine with the king. We're not necessarily in love with the king, but we're fine with the king. Comes to the third town, and they say, wait a second, aren't you the king's minister? Don't you work for the king? What are you doing here? What are you talking about? We love the king. We know you work for the king. And they expose the guy for the king's servant. And Moshe said, this is the Yetzer Hara. This is your struggles. The first struggle is, what do you mean? I'm a real struggler. You would know my Yetzer Hara. I'm such a tzaddik, I'm such a Yetzer Hara. Some people think that. If you would have my Yetzer Hara, okay, maybe you're born Nevach Yon of libido, whatever. But me, every person thinks this way, yeah? I have no libido, it's already a chiddush. The einzige Sache in Mosque, the Grecian. L'chaim. Er meint, das ist die einzige Sache in Mosque. L'chaim. This is one guy. Me. The other guy says, Chodesh Mukayach, running was not fighting myself. Whatever, this way, that way, that's not Nagay, really, I'm not. And the third person says, what are you talking about? There's only one king. There's only one. There's no such thing. There's no gates of horror. You just fabricated the story to make him a sugar. This is part of the ruse. This is part of the Moshel Azoyna from the Zohar. It's a Moshel. Get over it. Realize it's an Irish Zachen. The moment you realize the Irish Zachen, all of a sudden the Meichel Galus comes in. The Meichel Galus comes in because I don't need to struggle. And this is what Alter Rebbe is saying. Maybe you're not going to fall. Maybe you're going to go back down. But just remember that you had those 5 minutes. If you had it, you can recreate it. So the Shabbat is it the Nefesh HaShenis B'Yisrael Chen Kol Lekam Alma? Is it your Nefesh HaShenis? The Nefesh HaRishon? What's your identity? Say who I am. What am I? Claude, where am I? Who am I? Once I know who I am, okay, I fall, I stumble, it's all fine, this is part of life, it's fine. But you know how to lift yourself up. Shavi Putzadik will come. It's the Rakam. How do you get up? How do you get up? Huh?
Ibn Shiny is Kam. The Kam is Ibn Shiny.
Yeah, Ibn Shiny. Yeah, that's the Rakam. Right? You can constantly get up. Because we're talking on the Shabbos. We have everything. We have everything that we need. All the oitzes. But we look there, we look here, we look other place. You know the what?
It's like Khan is Katantin Yikon.
Oh, right.
Khan is the Sulam, down the Sulam.
What?
The Sulam.
You know this is the nature of people. They want to do everything. They want to search every place besides within themselves. last thing people want to discover is themselves. They want to fly to the moon, go to the other end of the world, drill to the end of Antarctica. You understand? Abi gets somewhere else.
They just send a web with
And
the satellite to find the
market.
original source of
Okay,
creation.
fine. People love this. Abi nishmir. Let's go as far as we can and go away from us. The last chachma that was revealed in the world, you know this? The last chachma that was revealed in psychology, before astronomy, after everything. After they went to the moon back and forth 100 times and they figured out everything about the planets, then they said, okay, maybe let's look about you. Who are you? They waited for some, strange year to start it. But there was they wanted to go anywhere. Go ahead, get me anywhere. The Maisa, there's a Maisa. It's a Chassidish Maisa. It's actually a world story. But in Krakow, there's a shul called Isaac Shul. Isaac. You go to Krakow? See? You ever went to the Ramal Shul? Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, the Maisa with the shul is. So the Sipur is the original shul. Was then a barn or something. Kids, so this is the huh?
This is the bar.
This is the barn.
Yeah.
It's a Maisa that there was a Yid that had a dream. You know the story? There was a Yid that had a dream. He was living in Krakow. He had a dream that under the Charles Bridge in Prague, there's a huge treasure that says his name on it. It says Isaac. And the dream comes one night, another night, the next night, and he has his dream. So finally he decides, I'm going to go to get the dream. So he travels to Prague, comes to the Charles Bridge. And he goes under the bottom of the bridge and he starts digging. But of course, there's a big sakana for Yid, Chassidish Yid, they're digging, And the guards come and they say, what are you doing? He says, whatever. Day after night, night after night. Finally, they see the guy, they take him, we're putting you in prison. You have to figure out, what are you doing here? It looks like this conspiracy, or you blow up the bridge, what are you doing? So that's a very strange story, but I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to give you half of my, whatever I make, I'm going to give you half. I had a dream that under this place, exactly this bridge, on this location, there's a tremendous treasure. And it says my name on it. And help you dig, you find it, we'll become shutz, we'll become very wealthy. And the guard starts laughing, says, you know what? It's a funny, strange dream, because I had the same dream, a different dream. I had a recurring dream that said that there's a Jew named Isaac, who lives in Krakow. This is his house, the entire house. It says, in his backyard, under the ground, if you deep dig enough, you'll find over there, you'll find a treasure that says my name. So you think I would go to Krakow to go look at my treasure? What happened? Of course, he went to Krakow, he found his treasure. Because he always was looking this way and that way. And let's see what's the further things I can do. I need to do big avodah. Okay, what do I do? I'm gonna fast 1,000 days. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna travel. I don't know. I'm gonna walk to measurements. I have to do something extreme. And I'm gonna get there. Once I get there, finally I'm gonna find my treasure. Treasure's right in the backyard. Treasure's right here. Sometimes you actually need to travel very far to realize you have to get very close. So sometimes you take Messias, you travel, Mishlap, you get that really fine. But you know where the biggest treasure is? It's Mamish in you. This is the Gilotary Success. The immediacy. The immediacy, not the transcendence, the immediacy, the malakalam. That's chassidus. Chassidus is the malakalam. Not the soy also, but the malakalam. Malakalam means it used to be maybe should say nala, but it used to be our relationship to Hakadosh Baruch Hu was the chin of soyv. It was transcendence. This is the way we related to that Eberstein. Why? Because we lived in cultures that had kings. So if you lived in a culture that had a king, the king was literally Moses Chaim Yahweh. They had the king. So you imagine this is a king. He's a local king. Then there's a bigger king. a strong king, that's like a climber of all these kings. And then there's Melech, Malchei, Mamlochim. Like the king of the king of the king is like, whoa. That's why, if you ever went, there's a fascinating shul in Cordova, in Spain. It's a private person's shul. He was a rich Jew that lived in Cordova, let's say, times of their Amal before probably. And he built a shul. It's a very small shul in size. In other words, it's let's say 30 by 30, a small shul. But the roof is really high. And when I davened there, I chapped why they made such a tall roof. Why? Because you're standing in the presence of Melech, Malchei, Hamlochim, HaKodesh, Baruch Hu. You know how high you have to get? It's Melech, Malchei, Hamlochim, HaKodesh. It's the Eibush. It's like, whoa! Mamish, it's like on the top of the roof. That's where I get the Eibush. And when I walk into the shul, I feel like a shtickle dust. Because I'm standing in the presence of Melech, Malchei, Hamlochim, HaKodesh. You ever went to the Baal Shem shtickle? It's a low roof. It's squared. You know why? I'll tell you that. Because Baal Shem says that you don't have to go high. That's just krichen. It's right over here. We're going to make a shtickle. Maybe she's going to be mamish. This is a malakal. Maybe she's going to be present right over here. Nicht melech. Maybe she's not a melech. But I'm going to reveal to you a new oil. Maybe she's the kirvas Hashem. You're going to feel the Eibush is close to you, near to you. Karv. Huh? No. No. The Lashon of Rav Pinson writes, Yoisa Karv Mikarv. Like it's like the closest thing that's close. This is the kirvas Hashem. You make a kirvas Hashem, you have to make a shtickle. Small roof, humble roof. You come in, you feel right away. I'm in Nemtzacharum. You feel the Aver in the space. In Nemtzacharum, you feel the Eibush is close to you. It's the Gil of Baal Shem. Baal Shem says, I can reveal to you Sefer Kalam. But there's gonna be a time there's not gonna be kings anymore. We're not gonna know what a king is. We don't understand king. Daven Melech Malchim Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a hetzich nicht.
We understand our king is Biden.
In other words, we don't understand the whole idea of Melucha and the whole thing of kingship. We don't understand what that means.
If there would never be a king in history, what would we say? B'chat Hashem Elokeinu?
Avinu Atom.
Amen.
That's what the Akiva says. The Gemara says in Tainis. You learn the Gemara Tainis. The Gemara says that it was a Shas Sarah, and they were davening for everything, and no one was able to misspell. Everything that was spelled was not Nena. And the king was Nema, and he said Avinu Malkeinu. And then there was Kshom, and it started raining. Why? Because Avinu was Malkeinu. This is the Akiva revealed. That the king is actually your father. He's your father and he's your king. You know, when you talk to your king, that's your father. You know, there's a Shemaisa. There was once in the old shtetl. You know, there was the Malamed, the local Malamed, also had children. So he told his children that when I am in yeshiva and you're going to be by me learning, I'm not your father. I'm a Malamed. I can't. If I'm going to be your father, you're going to do what you want. You got the same problem. So he said, the father told him this: in yeshiva, I'm the Malamed. At home, I'm the father. Here, the kid did very bad. Did his homework. He did a very bad. He didn't get a good test. Comes home. He shows his father. His father starts screaming at him. Why did you get such a bad? Why did you get such a test? You got a 60. What's wrong? Why did you get such a mark? And he says, "Stop. Are you talking to me as my father, as my teacher? Because here you have to talk to me as my father." So Vinu is Malkeinu. It becomes a little bit the bite. It's Taka Vinu, Taka Malkeinu, Taka Malach Macham Macham Galish Baruch Hu Seir Kalam. But the same Eibush as the Seir Kalam is a Malach Kalam. The same Eibush as Rachak is Karev. And Karev is Karev Yosef. It's very, very close. We don't believe it. We want to think that it's far. It's a little bit far, a little bit further. Because if it's mamish so close, then what's your excuse? If I say it's a little bit far, then so I'm gonna try. What are you trying? There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. You're not going to say, "Ich will ankommen." You're sitting in the king's palace. So you're sitting in the palace. Where are you going? You understand? The schivus become stronger. But the tiny also becomes stronger. L'chaim.
La Nel
So there's a year שעות לא אימוי same customer saying never share says that there's me short and there's me so like a sharpness plus what is that shot in the email the manager says we zazim rishon hatsheni biti the chavivus is so strong that the Yiddish calls a child it's even stronger achoisi and it's even stronger and it calls him imi. Oh, this was imi. That's sharp. That kind of part. Yeah. So there's a word. This iron zilch, Talmud, Alter Rebbe Talmud, was a bitch of it. He says that in Bereshis, blood is Bereshis, and the kudus of Bereshis is Rei Shis. So it's is a Shua, Rei is Zer, and Shis is a Chir. It says these are three madrigas. Now the relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a Shva relationship. Shva relationship means top down. Biti, Avinu Malkeinu. And then there's a relationship where it becomes like a tzera, even, and then it becomes achter, it becomes a chirik. In the Teves Arizal, talks about at the highest level of dvekus. Arizal wants to say that it's a dvekus. He calls it a panim oponim. Panim oponim means panim oponim is a tzeir. There's, there's a relationship when you have HaKadosh Baruch Hu like this. Yeah, Shirat says, it's not yichud. Panim means I understand you. I know what you want from me. I'm in a relationship with you. It's real. It's genuine. It's face to face. It's not a chorayim. It's not a panim. You can have a physical relationship, let's say between a husband and wife, a child and a father, a parent and a child. You can have a acher relationship. It's like I and an it. You're just relating to the. I have to tell you, go here, go there, come there. With your employees. It's a relation. In relation to the point I'm encountering you. I really want to see you. That's the highest relationship that Arizal talks about. But there's actually a higher. Chassidus. It's not. I can't tell you where it says, but it's the mashmas.
The Rebbe says in you is
That what? It's Palabon.
yeah.
Right. I'm saying this is even higher there. It's higher there. It's higher there. Palabon. I don't know if you chap. I'm going to give you a mashal, sort of this mashal. Maybe for the Americans will understand it better than the. There's a couple that are sitting face to face. Palabon. They're young. They're trying to get to know each other. And they want to have a genuine encounter with each other, and they're sitting face to face, which is a good thing. It's a healthy thing. Yeah. And then there's another picture. There's an older couple. They're sitting on a bench, looking out next to each other. What's deeper? In the panim relationship, I'm trying to know you. I want you to know me. When I'm sitting together with somebody, looking out in the horizon together, means you both share the same vision. We're looking together, seeing our future. There's the BT relationship, and then there's the Achoisi relationship. Achoisi relationship is even higher than Panim Oponim. I'm sitting Kaviyachal with the Rebbeinu Shalom, and we're looking out together at the world that we can create. Because I have your vision. You have my vision. I have your vision. I'm holding your vision. This is a much more omic than Panim Oponim. I don't have a good word for it. You have to create a word for it. Tzad b'tzad. But it's a Panim Oponim tzad b'tzad. Because it's a real. It's a tzeir. It's not a chiluk. It's a tzeir. It's not a shval. It's a tzeir. It's on my side.
You think the tzeir is deeper than a chiluk?
No, chirik. Chirik.
This is the rocking.
So there's biti and there's achoisi. We're still in the rocking chair. You understand? The picket fat and the rocking chair. Whoever understands, but maybe in the oven. This is what happens to some people, but it's actually today you have a modern version of this. It's like in the car. You're driving the car and you don't have to say anything. You're both looking out the window. It's not panim oponim because you're not looking at the person. Hopefully, you're looking at the street. But together, you're looking out together. This is a panim oponim. This is such a deep panim oponim that you both share the same vision.
The hardest part of dating is when you're driving.
Because it's even harder than panim. Because I get to know
Is
you.
the word you both share, or you both have in common the same
direction. You both
No,
look
no,
exactly
the same
direction.
You see the same
Yeah, you're
objects,
seeing the same thing.
even not discussing.
Correct. You're both looking. You're both seeing the same possibility. And then there's a Madrega of Imi, which says clearly, Madrega of Imi is the Chirik. Every parent naturally will give their life over for their child. I don't want to give an example, but any parent that loves a child will mafke chaya for a child. The love that a parent has for a child is much stronger than the love that a child has for a parent. You don't pay a love him. It's natural. You love your child when your child loves you. That's how you get this.
What means a PLO?
Kaddish, whatever, there's different things. But this is innate. You love your child. But the gather of Imi, means that I'm so connected to your vision, the Abish's vision, that it's if I gave birth to this idea. As if I'm the parent of this idea. I own it so strongly, not that it was given to me, as if I gave birth to it. This is how much I own the Abish's vision. I will give my life over to it. It's not his vision that the Abishah gave me, and I'm looking at together and we share the vision. The Abish's vision is ani lo nivrasi el l'shamash haskoyim. There's ani nivrasi l'shamash haskoyim, and then there's ani lo nivrasi el l'shamash haskoyim. It means I don't have a vision. Your vision is my vision, and I will go Mesiras Nefesh for your vision, because I believe in it as if I gave birth to it, as if it's my child. This is the kirva, the real level of Teres Chassidus that Moshe wanted to reveal this type of kirvas Elokim, this type of closeness, that it's even higher than our Pam al deeper than a Pam al deeper than a Pam al There's in those letters that the Baal Shem talks about, there's Elise and Shoma. It's a very difficult letter. I think in the same letter, where he was shoyl the Samach Mem, he asked the Koich HaKlit in this world. It used to be, up until right before Baal Shem lived, in the history of Tzoros, the Kal Yisrael, that it was the church, and if there was a time period, and if you shmad, they let you live. And there was a choice. So some Yidden went and see his daughter, some Yidden, that was a choice. Right before Baal Shem was a famous story. They killed 300 Yidden. It was a love. They asked if they would shmad, and the Yidden said, yeah. Those 300 said, yeah, fine, in order to live. So they shmad, and then they killed them. And Baal Shem says, what's this? What kind of hardship is this? What kind of crazy? What's this? Mela, you want to go Mesiras Nefesh? Here they went. They're ready to give up, and still they come. What's? And he has a title in the Son of Man. This is a very deep problem that Baal Shem is dealing with. Like, what's Vilman Yetz? And the teretz I came to, his vision was, the answer that came to his vision is that the Abishah wants to tell Klal Yisrael. It's one way, but I'm talking about the other way. The Abishah wants to tell Klal Yisrael that no matter what you do, you're mine. You can do whatever you want. Shema, no Shema. That can make a difference. And what it works is also the other way around. So what's the oil that comes out of this? What's the oil? That's the choshech. It's the choshech. What's the oil? The oil is that benkach u benkach connected. the Baal Shem Tov to reveal. It doesn't matter. Don't get confused in the details. Don't get lost in the forest. The trees. The forest. Put it down. Everyone loves you. You're part of it. Yeah, there's a mission. Trust in the mission. I do want it, it's not again. But if you do, and you live like this, and you understand it, and you own your life, and you take ownership of your life, not only will you have a relationship that's going to be upon him, but it's going to be like in the picket fence. You're going to share the same vision, and you're going to feel like I say it's that your Ratzon is the Eibishter's Ratzon. And you gave birth to it. Imagine you decided you have to put on tefillin tomorrow morning. What a schmuck. You decided. I want to get close to the age, I want to put on tefillin tomorrow. I don't know, I'm just giving you emotional. Whatever the issue that you're having an issue with. You say, I love you so much. I want to show that I love you. I want to do something for you. And you come up with Shabbos, Tefillin, Kashrus, you come up with all these things. Nothing's imposed upon you. You birthed it. You gave birth to it. This is the ownership, and we own it so strong. We own it so strong. And we gave birth to it. This is our generation. We're not good being told, do this, do that, Tom. We don't believe in kings anymore.
Vaccine.
Huh?
Vaccine.
Yeah, vaccine. No, they tell you, yeah. You don't know. You probably know the CDs, but it's a funny story. I was eating in the safari in Africa, in all places. And there was a sign in the middle of nowhere. Atkan, Zimbabwe. If you cross this line, there's a line, there's elephants there, whatever. Cross this line, you're going into Botswana. And it's yeah. Atkan, and if you cross over this line, you're going into the next country, and you're not allowed to. You don't have a visa, you're not allowed to cross. So the Yid that I was sitting with says, if it says you're not allowed, we have to dafka do it. So they just drove the car around. Just around the front. Here's a sign, just drove around the front. Yeah, lights in the Tzedek. Als je steekt als het dan is dafka. This is the nature of
Shimmy
people.
Ben Geza.
Nothing
Yeah.
happened.
No, it's no nowhere.
That was the whole Shimmy
It's not even like they went 100 miles. They just went
cameras.
around the sign. But als je steekt met tanden is dafka.
Nein, geniet.
Well, I'm giving talking. People are, people they're not good with the rules. This is you have to do. Everybody says, no, I'm not telling you anything. You tell me what you want to do for me. You want to keep Shabbos for me? You want to put on tefillin for me? We give birth. This is we gave birth to this thing. We own it so strongly. That's not only is it a shva, not a shva, top down, and not only is it a tzeir, it's a shachir. Because it's car of merit.
How does the interpret
Huh? This is Toys Hashem.
No, how does the interpret starke Toys on Hashem?
Je das kriegen, weiß jetzt gesund. Oder so was.
No, it's from the players from the oil. Can't find the player.
Yeah.